we're going to do next is edit the output of the staff archive page. So what we want to do is copy archive.php to archive-staff.php. So now I want to make sure that I'm using this template. So right there at the top of the content, I'm going to type, "Hi, Don. It's not good HTML, it's not good anything, but that means it's going to show up quite nicely." And take a look. It says, "Hi, Don." So now I know that I'm using the right template file. Just yesterday I saw a plugin which will put in your admin bar, if you're logged in, what template file it's using, which can be quite useful. So I'm looking at this page, and its title says Archives. I don't want it to say Archives. I want it to say Staff. Maybe I want it to say My Super Awesome Company Staff. There are several ways to get that done. One is to use a filter and a function to change it programmatically. Another is to type in what you want. So right here is the HTML starting the archive title. And there it is ending the archive title. I'm going to rip it all out. There. Now I just have the H1 tag. And I'm going to call it My Cool Staff. And there you can see I have My Cool Staff. I would like for you guys to do this now. Yep, so you find the H1 class archive title, and everything between that and the ending H1 goes away.
Yeah, those are different. No, we're doing this in archive staff.
Archive-staff.php, yeah. If you wish, I was going to do some more on staff now, but if you want to jump ahead to department, that's just fine. Now I want to point something out. The words My Cool Staff are really small. If this were my website, I would not want them really small. But at this point, I don't care in the slightest about design. It is the job of the CSS person to make it look cool, to maybe not make it all caps or whatever. Right now, all I know is inside archive-title, which is an H1, it says My Cool Staff. That's all I care about. So now, our page is much simpler than it was. We're going to start the loop. Have posts, the post, and then get template part, content, get post format. What I'm actually going to do is change get post format to staff. So now it's going to look for content-staff. When it said, here, let me put it back. It says get post format. What it's looking for is content dash and then a post format. So that if your post says it is a video, it's going to look for content dash video and use that template. I'm going to make a content file called content dash staff. So I can just hard code that right in there. And that's it. I'm done editing my archive file. I changed the title, and I told it what content file to use, and that's it. All right, so everybody has their archive page working. I changed my mind a little bit. I said we were going to use get template part content staff. Instead, I'm going to use loop staff, and that doesn't exist at all yet. To a certain extent, it doesn't really matter what you call these things. I was looking at the default content, and it wants to be used regardless of whether you're in an archive situation or a single location or a situation. And I didn't like that. So I'm going to create something similar, just called loop-staff. So I'm going to CP content, or I'm going to copy my content.php to loop-staff.php. And then, just to make sure I'm really using the right thing, I'm going to write something in here. So now, yep, check this out. It says, "Hi, Don," at the top of each post. I copied content.php to loop-staff.php. So now I'm actually going to be ripping out stuff that I don't want. At the top right now has a thing to check to see if this post is sticky or is home or is not paged. And I don't care about any of that stuff. So I'm just going to delete it. So here's my header, class entry header. The first line here is it just has a function, the post thumbnail. What that does is go check to see if there's a featured image, and if there is, print it here. I'm going to move that someplace else later, but for now, I'm just going to leave it. Then there's the question of whether or not this is single. And since I'm making a loop for an archive page, it will never be single, so I'm just going to rip that out too. So now we have entry title, there's the permalink, and the title attribute, the bookmark, and all that kind of stuff. That's all good. I like that. That's going to be the staff person's name. Oh, and there's the end of if is single. So rip that out. Comments. I'm not going to have any comments ever on this page. This is one of the advantages of building for yourself and not building for a plugin that's going to somewhere else. I don't ever want comments. So, there. Now my comments are ripped out too. So the only thing in my header is the post thumbnail and the title. Then we have if is search, which I don't ever want. So take that out, and I leave entry content. So now I have my content, which gets the content, and then WP link pages, which does the before and after. That's particularly useful on an archive page where you might have 400 things and you only want 10 per page. We're going to tweak that, so I'm going to get rid of that too. So now the only thing in my content is the line that says the content. Now, I'm only half done, but I'm going to save real quick and just go take a look to make sure I didn't blow anything up yet. Nope, looks great. So I've ripped out about half that file, and it still looks great. Stuff, we should decide ahead of time what we want this to look like. I don't want this entry was posted on and all that kind of stuff. I am going to want some images, but I haven't associated any with any of these people, so I can't actually test that. So there's the footer, which has all this stuff about the author and all that stuff. So I don't want the 2012 entry meta. I don't want the test to see if it's singular and all this author stuff. So I'm just going to rip that all right out. There. Now this is everything in our loop.php. for staff. I just edited the comments at the top just for fun. There, so now I've ripped out all the stuff that was in the footer. The edit link is still there. I'm going to move that edit link right up to the title. So, here's my title. Then I'm going to, oh. So now it's inside my H1, but outside that original A. If I reload, there it is. And now it only appears if I'm logged in. So now I could get rid of the one in the bottom, which distorts my design at the moment. So there we have a staff list. It's just the title and the description. This is everything. It's wrapped top and bottom in an article. Then there's a header. Inside the header is the post thumbnail and an H1 tag with the title and the edit link, the closing H1, and the closing header. Then there's the entry content, the footer, which has nothing in it, and the closing article.